So this question could be for any of you three, honestly, and that has to do with how industries are a little bit siloed when it comes to cybersecurity roles and the work that they do. And obviously, this is one of the problems that the NICE framework is trying to solve for, right? Like get everybody on the same page, speaking the same language about what it is people do and what they need to be responsible for. So I'm curious if any of you can speak to the trends you're seeing across industries. Is an industry, are the early adopters of this? Where are you seeing the most progress? What are you guys seeing out there?
I'll take a shot first. Maybe 2 years back now, almost 2 years, a group called the Aspen Cybersecurity Group, which is a public-private forum, came out with what they called principles for growing and sustaining the nation's cybersecurity workforce. And in these set of principles, they've identified the NICE framework as a resource or a model that organizations who signed on to abide by these principles might use to help standardize the way they're talking about their workforce, look at creating pathways within their workforce, and the training piece as well. And I think to date it's something like 30, maybe just above 30 very large organizations, people like Google, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, have signed on to be supportive of these principles and start using the NICE framework as part of those principles to help identify their workforces. Obviously, Leo from JPMorgan has done really great work identifying his own cybersecurity workforce there. And I think we're seeing more and more growth across industry sectors in doing that. One sector of which I know we've identified as wanting to grow a little more, which is the more operational technology, things like energy sectors. We're starting to try to think about how we can reach those groups better. But I think we are slowly seeing more and more adoption as you know, those numbers we all know very well, the million, 2 million number of jobs unfilled. As that continues to grow, I think more people are paying much more attention to it.
So one of the other things I'd add on to that, obviously, as common taxonomy approaches start to take hold, more industries will move towards them. One of the things that I discovered early on when we were looking at NICE as a possible framework to work with, even though it said cybersecurity, if you really look at the way that it's compartmentalized, you can actually apply it a lot more broadly than just cybersecurity. If you look at the way that they're reformatting SP 800-181 in the newest revision, where they're going to have what they call competencies, which are groupings of like, task, skills, and knowledge statements. You can start using that framework more broadly across your organization. At least from a technology perspective, it's most easily adapted. So you're not only looking at the cyber component, you can start looking at your architects, your software developers, your engineers for networking. So you can grow it across a larger scale in your organization. And then you could take those best practices and look at different silos within your organization. You know, as a bank, we have an investment side, we have a retail branch side. So could that same concept be applied? I think it can. It would require some curation of the taxonomy that you want to apply. But if you have a taxonomy across your organization and you're a financial industry, you could start collaborating with other financial industries, and that just strengthens our ability to understand how we stand as an industry and what we should focus on as an industry to secure our infrastructure, right? And those can be shared across continents as well for international companies. So when you look at that type of approach, look at how you can scale it in one fashion, and then it will start taking traction and other footholds in your organization.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Leo there. I think everything that we discussed, everything that we ever talk about is the same things that majority of industries are struggling with. Everyone is having talent shortages in their own right. And I think that's got more complicated as we've got more global in the working world. But I think it's just about changing. Like, it's just about being open to new ideas. And I think that's what Aspen and a few other groups have tried to do. Like, they've tried to break them biases or break them barriers that have previously been there, such as, making degrees not as essential, something that's so simple, but people constantly go to as an anchor. People need it. People feel like, you can't have no one can work here who hasn't had that. Well, that's unfair for the people that decided to go out to work, and actually train themselves in some cases, especially in cybersecurity. So it is about breaking down them barriers and breaking down them challenges. And I think, my challenge with some of my clients is, can we do this without a job description? Can we do this without seeing a resume? Like, how about we get to that point where we eliminate all biases in that perspective, in terms of seeing a resume and judging someone off that. Like, that is never enough to be able to judge someone fairly. It's a great way of funneling out talent, but there's so much more to a person, as we all know, but we're still not doing that. We're still using an automated system to check through a resume, and that person could have biases, and we've got to try and eliminate that to be more open to a diverse workforce.
New episodes of Cyberwork are available every Monday at 1 p.m. Central. And don't forget to claim your free month of Infosec skills. Sign up using the code CYBERWORK and you'll get unlimited access to hundreds of courses, hands-on labs, certification practice exams, skills assessments, and more. Use code CYBERWORK for Infosec skills.